Oh, snap. Guess what, everyone? It's Robby's World, episode 6. And today is a very special occasion. Not only is my brother from another mother, Scotty, in the house, he's the drummer of my band, and pretty much going to be like, I don't know, the best man at my wedding. There's a lot of competition for that, but, don't quote me. Anyway,
Well,
we're dropping a music video tonight in like an hour. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Also, Scott, I don't know if you realize this, you're the first non-Pacifican to be on Robbie's World podcast. How do you
that's
feel?
cool. I feel great about that. I'm sure I will probably be the only person from where I am actually from to ever be on this podcast, but
I,
who
I
knows?
can confirm that.
Yeah, I don't know how many people from the Inland Empire
Were you not going to say San Bernardino?
I was going to say San Bernardino, but the overarching Inland Empire is definitely a thing too. There are some cool bands that are coming out of there. I find them randomly, like Lancaster here, like Victorville here, and like sort of like these like high desert bands, which I
Is that SoCal or is that like NoCal? Like, what is?
it's almost no cal.
Okay.
It is Southern California, and it's honestly just like it's about an hour east of Los Angeles.
Okay, cool.
Like
Well, I'm
direct.
glad that somehow you moved up here. We can even get into that eventually, but
Sure.
yeah, I think that was like the best intro I could have came up with. Now is Scott's here, Scotty Wright,
Yep,
Scott Stephen Wright.
that's me.
Um, Yeah, so Scott's in my band, and news alert to all the Pacificans watching this who have been watching the last 5 episodes. Like, yeah, I'm in a band if you didn't figure that out yet. So this one's going to be a little different. We're not going to talk about Scott's time growing up in Pacifica. He has been to Pacifica, though, so we can maybe get his take on that. For the most part, Scott, there's a lot of questions that I've been meaning to ask you over the last year and a half that we've known each other and built this powerhouse of a power balance band together. So no holds bars. Here we go, baby. You ready?
Man, absolutely. I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, sweet. So just a little background about you, because not a lot of I don't even know if a lot of people. It's just I'm trying to bring the worlds together. That's why it's called Robbie's World. So tell me a
Sure.
little bit about what you do pre-COVID outside of the music world, and then we'll get into a little bit about how we met. And a lot of people want to know like how the band formed. And I know it was. Well, I know the answers to this, but I would love to hear it from your end. So you can do most of the
Sure,
talk.
absolutely. So,
So what was life for Scott before pre-COVID and outside of music?
it was forever trying to start something that musically, we'll stick to that right now. But whatever I could musically to try to get my hands on and play for, um, and keep playing drums just for literally whatever. In San Francisco, I lived in San Francisco for 10 years. Moved up here when I was 19 from Inland Empire. And so the struggle was always just sort of like watching a city die and not really ever like getting a project off the ground enough to where I'd be like absolutely proud of it, and like it was either not heavy enough or it was just misanthropic in some ways. But so I filled up the rest of my time with working in restaurant industry jobs. I got my first bar back job when I was 21, 22 maybe, at like a little tiki bar up in the Marina District in San Francisco, and kind of fell in love with bartending, and then actually like took that and made a career out of it for the most part. Kind of bartended all over, and like I love doing craft cocktails and things like that. And I like the sauce, so I like to be a part of it. And I like to create new things and definitely create things for people that they like and they enjoy, and make libations more interesting than just a beer and a shot, even though that's my favorite thing.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was like hinting at because I wanted people to know like Scott, the not the bartender, but I guess the mixologist, because I'm like, that's kind of my past life too, but not even on the level where you were at. So yeah, could you go into a little bit about that? Like,
sure.
where were you working in San Francisco? Like, what was your favorite place and why? And then maybe like a couple drinks that like you really enjoy making. Because I know we're gonna try to make more content with you, like making drinks and shit. So that would be cool to kind of
Sure,
give a
yeah.
nod to that. And then yeah, I
Cocktails,
definitely want to hear more about your music career pre Robbie B.
obsolete cocktails.
Yeah,
Yeah,
coming soon.
it's coming soon for sure. So I worked all over the place in the marina. I worked at Palm House, which is actually like kind of where I got my foot in the door, and worked with incredible people that actually like wanted to teach me how to do it instead of like going and taking a class or like doing something cheesy like that. Not to take away from anybody who's like
No,
been
it's
to
cheesy. Don't
bartending
go to
school.
bartending school. Just learn from an old pro.
Just ask, go get a bar back job, haul some kegs, ask somebody to teach you how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like start from the ground up so that you at least know like the people that like are working underneath you, what they've had to go through, what they have to go through every single
Yeah, you
night.
got to pay your dues because you can't just walk in and be like, I went to bartending school, and the whole bar just like it's like record skip, like zzz. It's like you're not getting hired.
No, yeah, we'll all laugh you out of a room for sure. You know?
And make better drinks than you on the way out.
Yeah, absolutely. So I learned from a lot of really awesome people. Spent some time with Magnolia Brewing, and learned a lot about beer from that, which was super cool. I'm still really good friends with the head brewers of that place. In fact, I just sent a Obsolete Man gift package to the head brewer of.
Was that Seth?
Yeah,
Or,
Seth.
okay, cool.
Yeah, over
Papa
at
Seth. I
Papa.
saw the order, so I was like,
Yeah. You know, just asking questions from all these people who came from the bottom, you know, like kind of what I did, who had a general interest in it and wanted to teach other people how to do it. And anybody who's ever bartended under me, you know, in any of my lead bartending or bar managing positions, I wanted everybody to be a little bit comfortable with just approaching me and asking questions. It's like, well, how can I twist this classic? You know, like all these industry fundamentals people should know, you know. I mean, like if you can't make yourself an old fashioned, then like you're spending $12 out at a bar, which you can't even do now, but
yeah.
you can't do it yourself.
That's
you
what
know?
I was saying. We've probably next episode we have you on just like how to get yourself drunk at home on a budget.
It's really easy.
But still feel classy about it.
It's really easy.
Jen and I tried to make or she's like, I don't know if Scott would be proud of this one. Well, it was a Manhattan. But I
No,
think she grabbed the wrong Four Roses, but I was like, dude, Four Roses is legit. Like, but maybe there's like one that's better than the other. But
no, that's cool. Honestly,
it was good, and I'm a lightweight, so
Manhattan's technically supposed to have rye, but that doesn't matter. Just
that's why she was like, oh.
yeah. But that's a pretty staunch technique.
She got the expensive ass cherries though, and that was like the best part at the end.
That is what actually matters. You know, you got to have the Angostura, you got to have a decent sweet vermouth, and you got to have the maraschino cherries.
See, this guy's spitting. Give us a drink besides a Manhattan that you like to
I think my favorite cocktail is forever and always a paper plane. I don't know if you've ever had a paper plane,
I think my boy Andre used to like those because he's always like the trendsetter at Zeki's or wherever we're going. Like he's always he gets us hyped on the new drinks. But yeah, what's in a paper plane?
A paper plane is equal parts bourbon, so you can use your Four Roses, lemon juice, Amaro Nonino, and Aperol. All equal parts, shake vigorously, pour it in a coupe, garnish it with a little lemon twist, whatever you want.
That's dope.
But it's so good, honestly. It's
all right. We're gonna have to do a separate video. You teaching me how to make drinks.
Okay, dude, I would love that, honestly.
Okay. I need a spit jar though, so that I don't get fucking wasted.
Sure. No, that's the toughest part of being a bartender, especially when you're like on creative.
Yeah.
Like before the pandemic hit, actually even like a little bit during, I was on the creative side as a lead bartender for Wayfair Tavern, which I want to plug because they kept me fed, but I also don't want to plug because some of their business practices are a little shicey. I think
it's fine. We can get into that if you want.
Yeah, I don't care.
Everyone's trying to survive, even the celebrity chefs.
Oh my God! It was just like, how many millions of dollars do you like? Just like, why are you going into other people's neighborhoods?
More. We want more. The answer is more, Scott.
Like, why are you going and taking over neighborhoods that aren't yours? Like, stay in the financial district. Just do it. You know.
Don't worry. I'm working on a breaker's truck. We're gonna go park in front of Wayfair and
you direct it. I'll go with you, dude. I'll go with you.
Just blasting Obsolete Man.
I'll just wave to him. No, they always treated me really well, and
yeah. The food's bomb. The drinks were better, especially when you're behind the bar. So
I did love that place. It's a nightmare of a place to work. Not for any like internal reason. It's just like the clientele is just like, and it's all like high class. And I mean, they were making me wear a tie for Christ's sake. You know what I mean?
It was so weird to be like band practice with you, and we're just like fucking half naked, sweaty, and just like fuck the system. And then it's like, hey, dude, can I come into your work after grab a fucking $40 drink? You're like, yeah, no problem, Bubba. And then you're just like, you look like a scientist or like a doctor more than like a bartender. But.
Yeah, they had the full like embroidered jacket. Got to have a tie. They would send you home if you didn't have a tie clip.
Oh, that reminds me of Elfin Bar. If you didn't have black socks or if you didn't have like I don't know, just it's corporate, man. But
Who wears anything but black socks anyway? Like, I mean,
well, back in that day, I think I was like white ankle sock guy or something. But
oh no, dude. I'm glad you left that guy behind.
yeah. Now I'm like socks and Crocs guy off camera.
No, that's cool, dude. I was actually gonna wear my Crocs for you today, but
Right on. Hold on, I got a call. Hello, yeah, for you, Scott.
mine are already wearing out on the bottom. I wear them everywhere, like shamelessly. I know you do.
Yeah,
too.
you got the
I
camo
learned
ones?
from you. Huh?
Are you talking about the camo ones?
Yeah, the camo ones. I gotta buy a new pair.
Do you still keep your Glock on your Croc or no?
Yeah, dude. Always, dude.
Is your Instagram picture a recreated one of the meme, or is that another meme?
I think so. And you know how you can get like
But
the
it's you. It's your stuff. Is that a real picture?
no, no,
Oh,
it's not. I know.
because I saw the meme and it was different colors, and then I saw one with the ones that you have. I was like, does this guy really put a gun on his Crocs just for his Instagram profile picture?
No, dude. I would though. I would if I had.
We'll
So
work on it.
you know, like the little emblems or whatever you can put in the holes.
Gibbets, baby, gibbets.
Gibbets, right? Thank you. Thank you. One for Crocs. This is just a huge Croc.
Shout out to Crocs and Liquid Death. Maybe we need to do a Croc Liquid Death collab with.
Dude, comfort on your feet, water in your body.
Use it for your soul.
But so what do you call them? Giblets? What are they called?
Gibbets.
Gibbets. Okay. So the one on my profile picture, some dude did recreate that with a Glock, but there are letters and it says "dang foo." It's so tight, dude. Like honestly,
dang foo, like
that
Daniel, but dang foo.
Dang foo. Yeah. Whoever took that picture, if you can get a hold of me, I just want to chill. Like honestly, like I just want to hang out.
Yeah, let's do a Zoom party.
Yeah, Zoom party with the dang foo Croc guy.
So life was like music and bartending, and then dating here and there until you found your Anna Bear. But
yeah, so I found my life partner.
Your lobster.
Exactly.
What made you move up here? Was it music mainly, or like I know you're friends with Devin before, so like you guys met up here when you moved here, or
yeah,
a bass player for everyone who doesn't know that.
Yeah. So I met Devin, I guess, in like 2011, maybe. I moved up here in the beginning of 2010, like January 10th, 2010, actually. And it took me about a couple of years to really acclimate. So I moved up here to go to that really shitty private art school, the Art Institute of San Francisco.
You just talk shit about all the stuff you've done in your life. Like,
well, because I wouldn't. It's
like the bartending school of the art.
Yeah, pretty much. Straight up, though, it is like on par. Like it's just like it's not even a trade school. They basically just stole everybody's money and then got found out and then got shut the fuck down.
Is this the Academy of Art or is there another one?
No, it's Art Institute.
Institute. I always got those mixed up, and maybe they did that on purpose.
Well, they both those systems are like shutting down all over the country because they were basically profiteering off of poor people and getting people to take out all these egregious loans and then giving them a really bullshit education. Actually, like I learned a lot from the Art Institute.
Yeah, this is where it gets dicey because like you wouldn't have known what you don't know if you didn't try, but then also they're like predatory, so you gotta
absolutely
learn, I guess.
I paid off my student debt, I think last year. Actually, so at the beginning of
I was gonna say the pandemic bucks didn't help a little.
No, really though. Actually, I think my last payment, I was like, oh, I got that like extra $600 unemployment money, and I was
the stimulus.
Wait.
Just cut the check, get out of there.
So little does the government know that though they keep fucking me, I will still win. Okay, like always. I'm still gonna come out on top. All right. But yeah, so I just finished those, and so I went to school and I graduated from there. Actually.
Congrats.
Yeah, I remember my mom coming up and my grandma, and they came to my graduation. So I have a bachelor's of science in audio engineering, which I don't.
Actually, that helped a lot when we recorded. I'm not gonna lie, you were like speaking a whole nother language to Tosh. I was like, what?
It's good language to know, really. I just, instead of being on the engineering side, I just like to play, man. I mean, I'm much better at playing than I am at trying to get somebody else to sound good.
Like produce what you have in your head like that.
Right. Yeah. And it's not even like necessarily like production. Like my favorite part about that school was I learned like a lot of sound design, and I like got like kind of into like noise and like creating like soundscapes and stuff like that, which I still have an interest in. And understanding the technology behind it all, like for my senior thesis, if that's what you want to fucking call it. I created a drum set that you could orchestrate stringed instruments with, and like in dynamic level, both a dynamic level and in articulation. So basically, like if I was doing like a drum roll, right, and like if I was keeping my basically like my double strokes or something even tighter, as tight as possible, it would orchestrate like a tremolo like bowing of a cello. And so I basically like turned in like I used microphones and sound pressure to turn a drum set into a 4-piece quartet.
That's rad. That gives people like me hope that we can actually one day play like an instrument or be like part of
That's what it was designed for. It was designed to be a I called it the Schlagzeuger, which in German just means drummer. So I wanted it to be able to like, if you're watching or if you're trying to score a film in real time, you could do it. If you could just hire a drummer instead of like hiring like a whole orchestra, right? And just have this drummer score this in real time for, I mean, literally like a fourth of the price if it was a quartet that you were doing, right? And so I was trying to give drummers more jobs.
That's what I was saying. Take away from the other side and bring some.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I don't give a shit if like you spent your whole life learning violin. This like mediocre drummer is gonna take your job.
Yeah, so, but you weren't an original, like you weren't the original drummer of the band. Like we'll get to that. So like, but was drumming kind of always like your main gig, your first love, or?
Absolutely, it's the only thing that I'm truly good at. It's the only thing that I'm proud of wholly that I've spent my.
You are really good. If Gino wants to play with you, and then he called, spoiler alert, Gino called me. Like that's how I knew. It's like okay, this drummer has to be good.
Yeah, well, I've been wanting to play with Gino for fucking years and years and years too. And he moved to Germany, and then like me and Devin just made.
Wait, you skipped the part where how you met Devin. Then we'll say how you met Gino. And then
right, okay, yeah. So I met Devin. He was working for his dad's elevator repair company, and and he was living with some buddies of mine on Haight, like in Haight Ashbury, on Hayden Waller, like not Hayden Waller, Waller and Masonic, excuse me, in the Haight Ashbury, and he was just happened to be a random roommate that like all these other dudes knew that I went to school with. They were all graphic designers and stuff, and all skaters and like
they're just mutual friends partying, hanging out, and then
mutual friends. And then like one time, like I sat down and played some Grand Theft Auto with Devin, and I was like, dude, I actually like you like way more than these other people.
Video games bringing you guys together.
Yeah, and we kind of like vibed on like the same music. Like we were like, I'm still a huge Mars Volta fan, but so is he. You know, and we were like,
what year is this? Like 2014, 15?
No, this is like 2011.
Okay, but you came up here in 2010, but then you graduated. So how long was the course?
He knew me while I was in school.
Oh, you're still in school. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So he knew me.
I'm just trying to see where I was in my life at 2011 because I was still like recovering from the recession, coming back from like weird like college battle tours, and about to go work at Google, and like 5 characters is ending. So I'm trying to see what your guys' like timeline was doing.
Sure. I was starting over at the same time that you were probably ending 5 characters.
Okay.
I was starting over in a new place, trying to find people who agreed with me musically.
Sounds like that's about the time you met Devin.
Yeah, absolutely. And Devin was the first musician that I met in San Francisco that I absolutely knew him and I could do whatever it is that we wanted to do. If we wanted to make heavy music, we can make heavy music. If we wanted to make just like free form jazz, me and that kid will just sit in a pocket all day long.
That's dope.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player, and he's a great multi-instrumentalist. And once I met him, I was like, cool, now I just got to like find the rest of the pieces. And so we went through a bunch of different things. And I met Gino. Me and Gino had never played before we created Obsolete Man, pretty much. Like, had never written anything together.
But Devin and Gino were like childhood best friends, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because like all you P-Town people like know
world, baby.
Yeah, you guys all know each other, and I'm just an outlier that had a good enough grasp on a drum set that like people were like, oh well, like I don't care where you're from, like just like come play some music.
We also don't care where you're from, but P-Town is very clicky like that.
Nobody cares about that place, and so so that's good. I mean, I believe myself to be a Northern Californian these days.
Yeah, man, I try to ignore the fact that like you like Dodgers and the fucking Lakers. Like the Lakers, I don't really care about. Like the Dodger posts, like early on, I was just like, fuck, can I be in this band with this dude?
Living as a Dodgers fan in San Francisco for 10 years has always been a point of contention for many people.
Like, why would you do that to yourself? I still don't understand. Unless it like you bonded with your dad or your mom, or like if it's a family thing, I get it. But like,
It is a family thing. I
okay,
mean,
because
I
that's
grew up,
why it means so much to me. Because me and my dad like baseball. He was my coach, and just like it's just
yeah,
ingrained in
I
our
grew up
family.
going to the Chavez Ravine and eating Dodger dogs, man. That was my shit.
All right. So,
And
do you remember the first day you met Gino,
um, no,
or the first day you guys jammed, or like connect the dots from like just jamming with Devin? You guys were in another band. Like, how did
sure.
Gino come in the fold?
Me and Devin like wanted to start like a heavy project, and we wanted to do like just like straight hardcore punk, and just like keep it just like minimal hardcore punk. Um, and then eventually we brought Gino into that band, and then we were just like, well, like none of this is like really melding. I was playing guitar, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't be doing that.
And this is like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think about 2.5, 3 years ago. We even played shows as the band No Good, which we saw stuff that me and Devin were kind of talking about. We were like, fuck it, we'll just release it. Um,
Content's content, baby. You know how I feel about that.
yeah, man, honestly. And the
I'm
stuff is,
surprised Devin is willing to let that go, though. But
we talked about it. He's
I'm
like,
gonna get a text when this airs. Sorry, Devin, I love you.
I catch him on a good day and be like, hey, dude, like, what do you think about releasing those 2 songs, those like random songs from that EP we
Yeah.
did with Good? And he's like always been like, yeah, like, fuck it. You know?
People still ask for 5 character shit, and like I have them deep in the email, but like, why not just put that on YouTube or Bandcamp, and then try to drive traffic to this band? So we
Absolutely,
can do
bro.
something like that. We should do a split with our old bands.
Oh man, I mean, we are our old bands, so
Yeah, so it should be like 5 characters, Sad Tires, No Good, and Obsolete Man. The world tour, sponsored by Robbie's World and
yeah, satire.
Liquid Death and some other shit.
So yeah, sponsored by Liquid Death and Club Monte.
Yeah, and Crocs and Carhartt.
Uh,
So yeah, can you take me back to like meeting Gino, playing with him, and just did you have not like a this is it moment? Like,
well, me and Gino, like, we always stayed in contact because, like, even when he was in Germany, I was just like, hey, man, like, swear to God, if you're going to come back, like, you got to play in a band with
oh
me.
yeah, I forgot that was the end of 5 characters. Gino's like, I'm moving to Germany. Dom's like, I don't really want to do this anymore. And then everyone else was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I like am practically homeless trying to build a business, and like I work at Google, so like I can't be this hardcore kid anymore, even though I want to be.
I think we all stepped away from it for a long time. And then when me and Devin started No Good, we were like, no, let's just make something really heavy that we do. Like, let's stop relying on other people. And if we are going to rely on other people, it better be Gino.
Yeah. So did Gino move back by then, or?
Yeah, so he had moved back, and I think he'd been back for like maybe like a year or like even 2. And
yeah,
we just,
because I used to see him around town. I was like, ooh.
yeah, we never connected really.
Back.
Well, I know him and Devin worked at Ananda Fuwara, that vegan restaurant in downtown San Francisco.
Oh, I forgot Devin worked there for a hot minute.
Yeah, and that's how like I started reconnecting with Gino too, because like he worked there and I was going to school like down the street, and like I was always in downtown San Francisco, or at least around like the UN Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I lived in the Fillmore for 8 years, so he was always just like right around the corner, and eventually we were like, no, like we're gonna do this, like we're No Good, did some shows. In fact, like we did a show at Alice, my roommate's old house in Oakland, like a little basement show that was very cool. It was a craft fair. People were like selling trinkets like this. Alice just made this burning cop car ornament, and it's the only thing in our tree.
The orange Christmas tree, I don't get it.
Right.
Can you explain it?
So
I'm kidding.
Yeah, okay, all right. It's like, dude, really?
I love the aesthetic, by the way. Like, you're so fucking artsy. Like, I had to try so hard for like all this shit, and I feel like I'm just at a shitty garage sale, and you're at like a boutique, vintage boutique.
The tree, I think, is only like a couple years old, but
it's just so subtle. I love it.
This is my favorite plant.
Yeah, what's with this like carrying plants thing? You and Paul have like.
Well, so we like vibe on that. Paul from Morning Coffee came over the other day, and we did a cute little merch shoot, and hopefully it propels him into this beautiful world of modeling that he said he wanted to start doing. And I was like,
I was feeling tingly when I was seeing some of the pictures coming through. I'm not gonna lie.
He's a good looking dude, honestly. The whole time I was like just taking pictures of him, and I was like, he's like, hey, is like this weird? And I was like, no, dude, just keep doing what you're doing. No, just keep it coming.
Just smile with your eyes.
Yeah.
I think it's a Filipino thing because they say like you go after like people like remind you of your mom, and my mom's Filipino, so I think I'm like, all right, Paul.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's Chicano side is like what I was like.
Oh yeah, see, he's like our perfect guy.
I know.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
hoop earrings and shit. Like,
Beautiful man, beautiful man.
wait, he brought a plant, and now you have a plant.
Yeah, well, so because we were talking about it, and he was like, "Dude, can I bring my own plants for this shoot?" And I was like,
BYOP.
"Yeah." I was like, "Of course, dude, if you want."
He asked you.
Yeah, he asked me. He's like, "Is it okay if I bring my own plants?" And then so he brought his favorite plant, and I made sure that he got enough pictures with him and his favorite plant, and they looked great together.
I think those are the ones I starred the most. Like the one where he's like sitting with the
They're
plant.
good photos, and honestly, he makes our merch look really good. And
Yeah,
and so I decided for you to bring my favorite plant.
nice. Let's check it out. Can you show it to the camera, or is it kind of just doing?
I don't know what kind of plant it is, but Anna got it for me for my birthday, and it's so great, and it like flourishes down here in Santa Cruz. It was like kind of dying in San Francisco, but in Santa Cruz, in fact, like I was kind of dying in San Francisco.
That's what I'm saying. Good segue. So you moved, you left Wayfair.
Yeah.
You can still consult if they need you, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I like working for them. They like my ideas, and I kind of have a grasp on what it is their clientele likes. And so they keep me around, which is nice. And I'm constantly in contact with them, but I'm constantly like denying work.
For your own mental health.
Yeah, well, also because I'm not going to drive an hour and a half to just
That's true. So you're in Santa Cruz now. I don't think it'd be worth it. Plus, like all the counties are locked down anyway. So
exactly.
I
So
can't really be cross-pollinating right now.
They're all doing to-go stuff. Actually, so my bar manager, I was just a bar lead and part of the creative team, and the bar manager Eduardo, he's like the coolest dude. Love him so much. I actually miss our lunches together because he's a force to be reckoned with when it comes to craft cocktails, and just sort of like understanding the business and knowing what a multi-million-dollar restaurant like Michelin star level restaurant needs to push out so that its customers aren't like overwhelmed, but like are still interested. And it's like,
that's a delicate dance, man.
It's so bizarre, dude, honestly. And he's way better at it than me. I'm just like, dude, like either drink it because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, or get out of the bar, dude. So it's like we have different styles.
I like the balance between you two, though.
Yeah,
I can tell his. Now that you told me about him, I could tell his influence because like you're trying to help us at Breaker, so you're kind of like my Edgardo a little bit. Eduardo or Edgardo?
Eduardo, yeah.
Eduardo, yeah.
Super cool dude. Honestly, I miss him, and I miss working with him because we would just like test cocktails and like get shit housed in like the middle of the day, and like just crafting all these different things. I'd like return home to Anna, and I'd be like, "Well, I had like
I got this great idea."
Yeah, it was like a Mad Men episode of just like stumble in, like fix myself a drink as soon as I get home.
It reminded me of like Mad Men meets like Rick from Rick and Morty a little bit. Like, you got that vibe for sure.
That's not a bad vibe to live with, really.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
live life hard, baby. But yeah, I was gonna try to ask like how else COVID like affected like your personal life. Like maybe talk about a little bit how it like affected the band if you don't want to get too personal. Because these are the questions that people have been asking us in like these articles, and I have a feeling people aren't going to read. They're just going to like maybe listen or watch. So
sure.
How's COVID changed your personal, professional, and the band life?
So I'll start with band because I think
love how you always just default to the music and band stuff. That's how I know you're like a true musician. Dude, I appreciate you.
Honestly, everybody. Well, the thing is that everybody has hardships, and so to demean anybody else's hardships by talking about my own personal ones is like always something that I feel strange doing.
Yeah, because it could always be worse, and you'd never trade your problems for someone else's. So,
in fact, like my 2020 was otherwise phenomenal, other than the fact that like the project that I've been the most proud of as a musician in my entire career was this, and
which is why we're talking about band.
Right. That's why I'm going to start with band because it is a point of contention for me.
Yeah, it sucks, man. There's nothing we can do about it. So yeah, let us into that world a little bit, baby.
Yeah. So I think some of the best music that I've ever been a part of is OBSOLETE, man. And we were just starting off so good, and people were like, "Damn, this shit is heavy." Like people were vibing. We were excited about it. In fact, we had two other albums written, still do technically, but we had all this music and we were just absolutely ready to just come as just like a force for the Bay Area, a force for heavy music, a force for our personal growth, and as four grown ass men who get to make whatever they want. It's a creative's dream being able to play heavy music, because you are allowed to do whatever you want and people will listen. And so that's the hardest part of this, I think, has been not having you three around me once or twice a week, and me being able to unleash some of this this hatred for the world and society and all the things that are awry in the world. I don't necessarily get that anymore.
Yeah, because this was like therapy for us. Like I was in therapy and then I'd go to therapy, if you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
And sitting behind a drum set and playing what I wanted to play has always been a therapy for me since I was a little kid. Whatever life throws at you, if you just sit behind a drum set and take out all of your aggression on that drum set, you don't feel like hurting anybody else. You don't want anybody else to hurt. It's honestly like one of the better things that exists in the world. I used to tell my old drum students that all the time, to be like, dude, you can hit these things. You can literally take out all of your microaggressions on these things, and they're one of the few things in the world that want that and will take it and will actually give you something positive in return. There's nothing else in the world that you can hit.
You're giving me like chills, dude. I wish I like learned how to play drums with you through you.
It's never too late, dude.
You're right.
It's never too late. Drums are super fun. But
yeah, music is just like the universal language of the soul, and like the fact that there's no music, I think people are like worse right now, like live shows and performing and practicing with your homies.
Yes, I mean social. Oh
yeah, I forgot about that. Just being around other people. The last time we were all in a room together, do you remember when it was?
It must have been when we did this video.
Yeah, I think it was like March 9th. It was like that was our last practice, March 9th.
Oh,
we did like a photo shoot with Kevin, and then we just like, for more content, let's film like our practice. And then those have been the base of our 2 music videos that we didn't see COVID coming. But
yeah, we didn't. It
blows my mind we haven't been in the room together since March 9th.
That honestly sucks, dude. Like I miss like seeing Gino face to face, and I miss his point of view on the world.
Yeah, he's very, very odd fella, but he's come a long way, which is good.
Well, I talk to Devin every day because we play video games together and stuff. And I talk to you just about every day, just because we have other stuff that you and I work on.
Yeah, I like having the group. We have the group chat, like text. Then we have the Instagram, and then we have like separate texts with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to play like Among Us with you guys yet. Is that even still popular or no?
I mean, I think it'll forever be popular. People really
good. So
it's an interesting...
it's good to keep talking to you guys, but it's not the same. Even this is like I'm like giddy like a little schoolboy right now, just like seeing your face and hearing your voice.
I was already an hour before we were doing this. I had like set all this up, and I was like, hey, like
you always got to add an hour to when I say to be there. So that's Filipino time and Robby time. So.
I wrote down earlier, and I was like, I just when I think I know Robby, just like I always forget the point that he's just always late.
It's funny that makes sense, because I was taking a shit telling you that I'm on my way, and then Devin's like, "So when are you starting? When are you starting?" I was like, "Oh, we're about to hop on right now." I was like, "Oh, really?" So just like you guys fucking busted me on.
Oh man, I was like, I know. As soon as you said like, "Oh yeah," like running a bit behind, I was like, "Oh shit, how long is that?"
That's hour. Just add hour. Legit.
I made myself like a rice cake with peanut butter just because I was like, "Well, I need to eat."
We're getting angry.
I was like just sitting there stewing. I like smoke like 2 cigarettes. I was like,
yeah, I could have worse traits. Like I'm hiding all those from you guys. Being the late is just like the easiest one to deal with,
No, honestly, I can deal with being late. I can.
Hey, but when I show up, I fucking deliver. That's the difference between me and everyone else. I'm not gonna lie. I used to tell it to my teachers, and they're like, "Well, he's not gonna lie. He's got the top grade in the class. I don't know what to tell you."
You didn't get B's, Yeah, I was actually talking to Alice's boyfriend earlier, because it was just him and I at home. They were off visiting family and grocery shopping, and I was just sitting talking to him. I was like, he's like, "Hey man, like, is this podcast gonna start like soon?" Because got
It's
all
worse
this.
when there's someone in your ear being like, "What's up with your dude?"
Yeah, it's just like Connor's never met you in his life. He's like, whoa.
Is he listening now? Hi, Connor.
No, no, he's actually watching the Too Short battle. He's watching
Oh,
Too
the
Short
verses.
battle E40. Yeah,
Nice. Who do you got?
I got E40.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right. Like classic.
Yeah,
Timeless, timeless.
yeah, dude,
I
yeah.
think it's an E40 song.
I was telling him this. I was telling him this story about Too Short used to come into Wayfair Tavern sometimes, and
Nice.
you'd bring a whole posse, and I'd be like, every single time he came in, I'd like nudge like the other bartenders, would be like, "Hey, you know who that is?" Like I used to bartend with this Hungarian girl, like straight.
Yeah.
From
She's like,
Hungary.
"No, should I get him out of here?" Like,
No, I'd be like, "Hey, do you know who that is?" And she'd be like, "No." And I was like, "That's Too Short." And she's like, "What the fuck is that?" And
it's all to me.
and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, you're from Budapest. You know what I mean? Like this isn't something for you necessarily. It is, but if you want it, you have to go find it." Kind of thing.
What are you doing after your shift?
Yeah, like you want to go to this Too Short show. But so I've served him a handful of times, and he's an absolute sweetheart. He's a nice dude. But Anna, my girlfriend Anna, and her best friend Jasmine were visiting me while I was on my shift at work. And I had like gone to the back to like get something, and I texted Anna. I was like, "Hey, like Too Short sitting right behind you." And because like him and his whole posse, they were just like all there together. And then Anna and Jasmine had come to see me. It's like, "Hey, Too Short's right behind you." And so apparently she tells her friend Jasmine,
Oh,
said, "Hey, like right behind us, there's Too Short." And she like turns around. Apparently, they had been drinking, of course, because they came to visit me, and I'm going to get everybody housed. So, so the girl turns around and says, "Hey, which one of y'all is 2 Chainz?" and I've never been more embarrassed in my
dude,
entire.
that's brutal.
I was like, we should have never told her this. Like, I was like,
2 Chainz.
and then apparently, like somebody in his crew was like, "Well, he's too short." Like, just like being like, maybe I could connect the dots for this girl.
They're like, "We're in Wayfair Tavern. Why are people even talking to us right now?" Like, we're just trying to get
Like,
the
and
good
the
food.
bar was empty. It was like late. I was like getting ready to close down, so that's why I was like,
Was it that top one where I was sitting at? Like, we go up the stairs where it's like the smaller one, or it's the one
No,
at the
I
bottom?
was at main bar. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so this is like the real deal one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one of y'all is 2 Chainz?
It's not a
Why
personal
would
one.
you, even if it was too short, why would you turn around like, which one of you is too short?
I don't know. She had been drinking, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I commend her for that intense, very, very intense move." But that's probably one of the funnier stories I think I have from.
Did you have any? Did you have to do any? Or wait, you just came back out and act like you didn't know them, like didn't know your girlfriend?
No, I was just like, well, I didn't find out until after I had come back out.
Oh, okay.
Because then Anna was like, "Oh my God, Jazz just did."
Because it was so instantaneous, like the
Yeah.
chain of events, the 2 chain of events.
She wasn't trying to make a joke. She just literally thought that like Too Short and 2 Chainz.
Yeah, she heard it in her head and it didn't come out
hilarious.
very correctly.
Every time I see her, that's all I can think about, and I'm like, "You're actually the funniest person I've ever met, and you have no idea."
Sometimes those are the best. Sometimes those are the worst.
Absolutely, that's pure comedic genius, right? Is the failure of things.
Yeah, I just take shots and hopefully some go in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2 Chainz.
Yeah.
Let's complete the fairy tale that is Obsolete Man. So you're jamming with Gino, Devin. Things are going good. You shift from No Good. You were playing around with the idea of doing Obsolete Man. I think that was like you're kind of just calling it that, but it wasn't for sure yet. And
Right.
then
We had a couple of different names. We were talking about naming it Guilt, which I really liked. Which is like actually how the title or the
That's
title
cool.
of that track Guilt came from, but we were like, there's so many one word like hardcore bands, right? It's like you can just like you can scroll down, like you look up hardcore on
yeah, it's
Spotify.
very trendy.
Yeah, it's just one word band names, right? And so they were trying to stay away from that.
What do you mean one word band name?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is like the toughest band name that I've ever seen because it isn't. If you went and listened to World Peace's music.
Oh yeah, everyone in Pacifica Locals group right now watching this is like, oh man, what a nice wholesome guy with world peace.
Yeah, no, just go listen to the music, dude. Go listen to the music. Yeah,
You gotta like Google World Peace band or World Peace music because if you just
dude,
put in World Peace, you don't get World Peace.
At best, it's a satirical band name, right? At best. But shout out to all you guys at World Peace. Honestly, like you guys have kind of like helped me through the past couple of years. You guys made me want to play heavy music again. But Yeah, you. So, oh no, because you're in Pacifica and World Peace is in Oakland. I was gonna say I'm in Drain territory, and you're more in World Peace
Oh, that's
territory.
funny.
Yeah,
Name another collab.
yeah. I also love that the obsolete man
No,
poster.
so
It
that banner
only
was supposed to
did,
go behind you on your drum set, my guy.
I know, man. I still want it. I liked how it was set up because it was just Saturn's penis.
His winky.
Yeah, his winky. Excuse me. Sorry, his pee.
I can't get the angles down yet, but I don't know.
No, that's a good one. It's
The
just like,
background's evolving.
yeah, it's just Saturn hanging dong in the back. Love it. So to complete the obsolete man story, basically me, Gino, and Devin decided that we were going to try to make the heaviest shit that we could and make it complicated, but still grounded. And so we just sat to writing. Gino would bring concepts and riffs and ideas, and then me, him, and Devin would just hash them out and arrange them and organize them. Some of them were just like, Gino was like, you guys can do this and this and this here, but this is the structure of the song. You know how Gino is, and actually he's made me a better drummer because he does write a lot of drum parts that I would never write. And playing them has made me a cooler drummer. And now I actually like see some of like Gino's mind drumming in my own playing.
That's dangerous, man. Be careful.
No, it's cool, honestly. It's a bit too egregious for most people, honestly.
Oh no, it's literally like he is so good that he's bad because people can't play with him. So the fact that he found two dudes before me, because I played with him for 6-7 years, 2-5 characters, so I know what goes down in that head.
Yeah,
and I can never just get everyone on the same page. I can never get him to just maybe slow down and hold some hands for a little bit, just so that we can all like work on it as a music and a music business, piece. But
so him and I are very similar in that regard.
I think that's why it works out so well, and you're open to it.
Yeah, and Devin and you are like the grounding pieces that are like, okay, well, let's like dial this absolute insanity back, and like let's try to make this like not approachable, but at least like digestible, to where it's like not like immediately like making people vomit on themselves,
That wouldn't be bad, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I would love that, and honestly, a lot of obsolete man for some would make them do that.
Yeah, you mean you're heavy like Metallica?
Yeah.
I listen to Rage Against the Machine, like Metallica.
Like Metallica.
You ever heard of Chop Suey?
I just heard a cover of Chop Suey by August Burns Red. You remember that band?
Yeah, that's a very like Warped Tour. That was like 5 characters territory, like back in the day.
I sent it to Gino.
Was it good?
And he didn't say anything. He just said rate from 1 to 10.
He said that?
Yeah, and I said, well, 5 because it sounds exactly like August Burns Red doing that System of a Down song, and it really does. And so I was like 5, like easy 5 because they did it. But then there's just like random sweeps in parts that like don't fucking matter, so like just hard shredding.
Yeah, why not?
Kind of fucking goofy, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I was gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, a Gino 3 is like a Robby 8.
Yeah. And that is how this works. So we had auditioned a couple people before you. And
this is the hard part I don't like hearing about, but I like hearing about it because now I know how it ends. So go ahead.
Actually, so I played for a band called Vertra, which is like a blackened. It's like blackened doom, I guess. It's very cool. It's like tantric and like huge, forever long passages, like 15-minute songs and shit. But I was playing for them and Zach Vargas, who might be a household name for anybody who paid attention to metalcore in the mid 2000s. He did Elysia, which was like a big deal. But anyway, so
we were supposed to play with them a couple of times, and it just always got canceled because it was at like a Vets Hall or something, or like a Boys and Girls Club.
Right. But so I ended up meeting Zach Vargas through like friends of friends. Actually, their guitarist Alex I met through friends of friends, and then eventually met Zach. And I actually worked with Zach behind a bar. And so we auditioned him because I had played in Vertra, and I was like, the dude's brutal. Like honestly, he's brutal. But there we go.
What up? Thanks for coming to Robby's World.
Yeah. So we auditioned Zach because Zach had some general interest, and I knew that he could do it because Vertra was complicated music, and
Yeah.
he was able to sit.
I don't know if I've ever heard it. Did you guys record or?
Absolutely. So I wasn't on their first album. I was going to do their
okay.
second album with them, and I played for about a year and a half, and like just all this kind of stuff was just being put on the back burner, and eventually I just left to continue on with my life, kind of. It wasn't
It happens.
hard separation or anything. We just stopped trying to write the second album. But their first album is actually sick. It's so good. I love their music, and I love playing for them. But I was like, Zach, like, come audition for this grindcore band. We don't have a name yet. Like, here's some of the music, right? Like from like us like taking videos in the rehearsal space.
Yeah, because I got sent like voice memos and shit. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, so it was very very bare bones. And he came through, and I think that moving from a band that he likes a bunch of music, but I can tell that he was like, these songs just aren't long enough. There's like nothing to latch onto here, you know?
Yeah.
These passages are very short, and it's like, if ADHD became music, it would be that.
That's literally Gino.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's just so good.
And I like playing drums for that kind of thing because it keeps me on my toes, and it keeps me working hard. And keeps me learning and adapting. So we auditioned another friend of ours, and just nothing was just fitting. And so eventually he was like, "Well, we can ask Robby."
This is the good part, folks. For if you're watching at home,
you were always
44 minutes into the interview. This is where it gets good, Scotty. Lay it on me.
You were always on the table. It's like, wow, we were always just like, well, what about Robby? Like clearly, like if he had done 5 characters music, which was not necessarily dialed back, but it was still complicated because Gino wrote it.
Yeah, so, there's still a lot of parts where it's like count to 9, take a breath, and then hop in. It's like, what?
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, okay, so if he's already played with Gino, like, why aren't we just bringing him on? And then eventually we were all sitting down and we were like, okay, we're hitting a brick wall here. So let's just.
You're desperate at this point. You could say it.
Yeah, we were desperate. And
damn, I was just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We just wanted someone who we knew could do it because we weren't going to be cut down musically for somebody else. And so that was you.
Well, what's crazy about that is probably right around that time, I was trying to get back into music because I kind of came full circle with like the tech life, the restaurant life, and I was like still missing something. I was working at a nonprofit, and that can be very stressful at times when you're trying. At points, it feels like you're taking the whole city like on your back, and I just, I was going through mental health stuff. I was getting into therapy, and just like, they're like, be creative, and I was like, oh yeah, I am creative. I forgot, like music, like oh shit, like you said, we all kind of took a break. I feel like I took too long of a break, and I didn't realize how like whole performing and writing and making music did, or just having like the band friends, because I have like different friend groups, but not having like the kind of like the band guys that like really completed me in a sense, and I was missing that. So I actually hit up Gino, and I was like, you want to revive like old 5 characters, just be an internet band? Because I still listen to the songs he sent me on like Tablet or whatever that we never released, and so I started writing to those, and just until another band came along, and then I was people were sending me stuff, but it wasn't hitting, kind of like what you were talking about. Like, I know there's more out there and there's more potential.
Yeah.
And so then I think I messaged Gino, and then this connects you to that part of the story.
Yeah.
But like, what are the odds, dude? That's crazy.
So you came in and you were just immediately prepared. It was like, okay, like this dude clearly like takes everything that he does more seriously than the average person. Really.
It's funny that you felt like that, because I was like so nervous. I shaved, like brushed my teeth, combed my hair. Like, I thought it was like this old dude just like meeting, like coming to meet these like, what's up, young guys playing in a garage.
No, we're not.
Dude, I know, but I feel like I'm older, like way older, just because I've lived many lives. But like, I met Devin, I was like, all right, cool. Like, his girlfriend used to work at my mom's pet store, so it's all good. And then like, obviously I know Gino. And then you come in all fucking late, by the way, badass with like your new fucking like fresh cut. And I was like, oh damn, this guy came to fucking play. But apparently you used to have hella long hair like right before that.
Yeah, I did actually. My roommate Alice used to cut all that hair off. I was just talking to Anna about it today. It was interesting. And I've had short hair ever since.
Yeah. So
But
it was a crazy experience, but I do remember just like watching you guys and being in awe because I'd just been listening to voice memos and kind of just writing down ideas and shit.
those dudes rip, honestly. And it doesn't matter how far or how long we haven't played with one another, we will still go back and still just rip those
Yeah,
songs.
I definitely like riding a bike now because before I hadn't screamed for almost like 6 or 7 years, and you guys were still like cool with that.
Yeah.
And now, 6 or 7 months isn't going to slow us down.
No, man. No, this is a force to be reckoned with, and we go about it that way. I mean, like, you're great at what you do, and that's just like what put us in this position. Like, we would have been nothing if we didn't make that call and get you there.
Yeah, you just got to keep swinging, and then
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, until it takes you to the ground, dude, like, life doesn't have you. As long as you're standing, right, and you keep throwing hits, you're fine.
save some for the sequel, Rock. So we're also here to bring some holiday cheer to you folks. We still got some merch for sale on the Bandcamp. And this is what I love about our band, and I know I'm going to make a lot of people jealous, or I'm going to make a lot of people who know us happy, but you know those bands where it's like there's 4 or 5 of you and only one of you do everything, and then the other guys just like smoke weed or play video games, or like they're just we do that. Well, I don't, but they do that. But I've never been part of a project or even like a band where like everyone kind of like pulls their own weight and is like willing to help. So
Yep.
like merch is my thing. I've always liked to do it, but in 5 characters, I was, besides doing like Gino doing the writing, I was doing a lot of like the behind the scene band stuff because that's kind of shit I like, the business stuff.
Yeah.
So the one thing I was like dreading is like selling hello merch, but then having to ship it and deal with it because I'm not good at these minor details and I'm fucking late. So it's like I don't want people to wait for merch. So Scott like stepped up and has just been killing it on the merch. And it's just like I'm so proud of the system, the obsolete like powerhouse that we've built. Like now we have like projections and campaigns and social media, like so, and it's really forced us to do this, but we were doing it before. But thank God, right?
Well, I mean, we just like take all of the things that we have brought from the rest of our life, and it's not necessarily business as it is like completion of tasks, right?
Yeah. What are you good at doing? And you guys are all like very like perfectionists in a good way too, though.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just I'm so grateful to have your support and your talent.
Making a
in
real
this band,
team
dude.
is the whole point anyway. If you can't be a team outside of the music that you play together, then your music will suffer.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you can't entrust these very simple tasks to the people who are right next to you in the trenches with you, right?
Yeah,
It's just
should be able to handle it. Well, at least one of you should be able to,
right.
post on Instagram
And then you trade,
and ship some merch.
and you trade off capacity as much as you can, right? Because not everybody's going to be able to show up 100% of the time. If you get 90% of a person, you have all that person.
That's true. That is a really good point. A lot of people I see making the mistake of demanding like what they expect out of the other members, like or of the other members, and like, well, I try hard, so he should too. And it's like, well, what is that guy good at? What can he do? Like, where can he plug the holes in? Where's his 90%, like you said, going to be worth better than your 50 if you're spread all apart? But
Exactly.
There's like no ego in this band, and it's all collaborative. And again, it just fucking sucks that our plans didn't work out. But I think like in a weird way, this is working out better because now we got to get sappy, sappy? No, what word am I going for?
Snappy? Froggy. Let's get froggy.
No. Continuation of savageness, as Scott would say.
Oh,
scrappy.
sappy.
I think I was going for scrappy. You got to get scrappy.
It's something like that, dude.
What did I say? Sappy? Like a tree?
Sappy. Yeah.
Oh, we are kind of emo too, so.
We can get sentimental, dude.
Hey there, I know it's hard to feel. Were you an emo kid, by the way, or no? Did you miss that? Were you too young?
No, everybody was. Anyway, so I'm going to plug this.
Come on. Okay, what do we got here first? This is Obsolete QVC.
Yeah, Obsolete QVC. So we have this beautiful Gustave Doré, A Short History of Decay, which is a book by Emile Charon.
Damn, you're plugging it good. I like it. Keep going.
Yeah, so Emile Charon is like probably one of the most depressing reads I've ever made in my entire life. But that's where we got the title for this album. We call it Ashad, and I don't know, should I mirror it or is it
Ashad, dude? No, you're good. I think because on my end I could read Obsolete Man.
Perfect. Cool. Because
and what's cool about these shirts, not only are they black like our souls, they're also printed on Gildan soft style. So they're pretty true to size.
Not bad.
And these are limited edition, folks. We're never
Yeah,
going to print
we're
these ever
almost
again.
out of them. We're almost out of them. We're like,
So go to obsoleteman.bandcamp.com and you can find this shirt. What else we got in there for them?
ooh, okay. Well, I have so much here.
Dude, this is like Christmas coming early. I love it.
And we'll go ahead and rock like
Ooh!
the
No, he
obsolete man
didn't
cap.
with the dad hat.
The obsolete man cap.
You're just missing the hoops.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. I could just like be like White Paul.
That's true.
So these hats are fucking sick, honestly, and they're well done.
They look so good on your head. I have too big of a head, but you got like the perfect dad hat.
Yeah, because my head is like too small for my entire body. It's really weird.
I love it.
I'm struggling with it my whole life. But
It's a
so
black stitch dad hat for those of you listening on Spotify or Apple or some other random one. And I
cool.
think limited on that too. I think we have like 10 more of the dad hats. And we're never going to print that shit again either.
No. But what's kind of nice is that like the message is a little ambiguous. So like I have this this friend who I mean like it literally is just like man is obsolete. Like you can pull that concept anywhere, and so like it kind of seems as though it's not even a band, these hats, you know?
That's a good point.
It's
When
just
I
like,
see it, I see our band. But when other people see it, what do you think they
like,
think?
oh yeah, man is obsolete. Like I mean, like, and whatever way you want to swing that, honestly, is kind of like what the title of our band even means, really.
Yeah, it's also a really good spoiler Twilight Zone episode.
It is a Twilight Zone episode, yes.
But a lot of people claim, yeah, like politicians, Trump or whatever, they're the obsolete man. I saw something with like a cop, obsolete man. I was like, ooh. So
I
you can
mean,
buy it for your friends, buy it for your enemies, whoever. Obsolete man.
yeah, straight up, yeah. You can take the concept and run with it any way. That's up for you to decide.
Now I wish we had beanies though, because you just put the beanie on. I'm like, oh shit! If that had inverted like obsolete man,
Beanies
or
are
even like
tough.
a patch or something.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe in
So
February.
actually, if you just patched up this beanie with one of these obsolete man patches,
Ooh, that's fire.
so
Those
fire.
are also limited edition.
They are.
And you can't buy those, I heard. I heard you gotta like order merch or something. Is that true?
You do. Yeah. So basically, you're gonna get everything that you buy from Obsolete Man directly from me, which is in beautiful Santa Cruz, California. You'll see it. But I hook people up, dude. Like honestly, like any person that gives a single flying fuck about the music that I
That's
make
true.
deserves everything I have. You
We
know,
probably
like
lose money on the merch because I go nuts on like stickers and patches and I just send them to you and then you're like, I'm gonna fucking send them to everyone else. But like that's what we want.
These are my favorite, actually. The
I don't even think the band's seen those.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's just between you and me, but I guess they know now.
There you go, Gino Devin. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You wanted it, you got it. It's the sticker version of our cassette layout.
I'll sanitize them and mail them to Gino.
I just do what I'm told. I don't get that one, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, but yeah, like you could just like fuck it, just like patch up a beanie, dude, and just like rock it hard, whatever.
Damn.
We have so much stuff.
Get rid of this update on my stupid screen. Go ahead. Okay.
We have so much stuff, and honestly, it's all with the same concept art, which is really cool because it's Saturn eating his son.
I have no idea what the I thought it was like a giant, like bringing back a head, like sacrificing himself as the obsolete man.
It's the god Saturn eating his son, and then
it's from Diablo. No, what is it?
Francisco Dor.
But it's in the book.
It's not in A Short History of Decay.
No, it's in a book. Fuck, what's it called? About like the devil or the Diablo, or you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Sure, if it's like a collection of Gustave Doré's work.
Maybe. There's a really popular book that everyone reads, and it's something about the devil or something. Oh, this is awful. Anyway, let's continue on with the QVC Obsolete Man episode. What else you got in that bag of yours, bud?
Well, I just have our limited edition cassettes.
What is it, 1985? Bring that closer to the camera. Is that a cassette? Whew.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go through that shit.
Hot. So, each one of them, right? So this is our actual music. We got
There's actually music on this, people.
There's music on it. We had a little bit of copyright problems with some of the
that you guys told me to ignore.
Well, I figured that there was like enough of a change, and I suppose
yeah,
like
we tried.
We tried. But so this is like the most beautiful thing that you could listen to our stuff. We had it mastered exclusively for cassette. And it just sounds sick, dude.
It's
like
so
that
cool to see in your
warmth.
hand. Like,
Yeah, that tape warmth is just fucking dope. I mean, and also you can go buy like a Walkman for like $20. I mean, try not to
I got one at a garage sale actually.
Oh, sick. See,
Yeah.
all right, there you go. Yeah, support your community. Go to their garage sales. We have a bunch at our house, actually.
Do you want to show the picture in there or what, dude?
The photo of us? Here,
Yeah, why not? I miss my boys.
It's a cutie photo, honestly. So this is pre-COVID, clearly, because, or else we would have been 6 feet apart. But
Those were the days.
Those were the days, man.
That's our bubble right there.
That is, yeah, I know. I wish, dude. I wish we could treat this like the NBA.
We just ain't got that NBA money.
No, man. In fact, we have zero. So
that's true. So buy some merch. Holla at your boy. So Scott, when they buy the cassette, do they get anything else?
They do. So you get a download code as well, so you can download it off of Bandcamp.
So you're telling me you get the cassette and you get a digital download too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds like a good deal to me, baby.
Sounds like a good deal to me, man.
Is that all of our merch, or what else do we have?
It's mainly just stickers past that, man.
That's true. And then I made a couple like pop sockets and shit.
Yeah.
If you get one of these stickers from Scott, you can put it on the pop socket. I don't know. Yeah, is that the pop socket one? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, love it.
And then if you want, Scott will like bleach tie-dye them for you too if you want. But
yeah, actually,
he's really good at that.
Mine's hanging up in my closet right now. I always feel weird like wearing my own merch.
I double think it, and I'm like, nah, fuck it. It's all it looks cool.
Like I just, the shameless self-promotion thing is like always like, ugh, but
dude, you're on my podcast talking about my band.
At this point, fuck it, dude. Like,
yeah, we already had this talk, man. Just go for it. You gotta love Kanye as much as Kanye loves Kanye.
Yeah, you're right, dude. You gotta love yourself as much as Kanye loves Kanye, right?
Exactly. Self-love first.
Yeah, no, it's real though.
Anything on the band tip before we touch on the music video? And then actually, I think it's premiering right now on YouTube. So if you haven't seen it yet, this isn't airing live, but the YouTube video is premiering. YouTube search Stoic, STOIC, Obsolete Man. Are you pulling it up right now? Actually, it might be playing right now if you pull it up. It's a minute long, so it's probably playing right now.
Oh, premiering now.
Cool. Let's just fucking play it right there. Can you turn it up?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And bring it to full screen and then tilt your shit.
Premiering in 1.5 minutes.
Let's just premiere it right here on Robby's World too.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Oh,
cool. Yeah. Let's see it.
Oh.
That's a fat
right.
beat.
Yeah, we still got 1:30.
Okay. I guess while it's playing, why don't you just tell me your thoughts on the video as it's going?
So, as being born and raised in California, even though on the other side from you guys, it's tough to see this poor state absolutely get set ablaze every fucking year, dude. I mean, like, I'm from a place where like my mom's house is like constantly in danger. She's in like the pretty much outside of that Angeles National Forest, right outside of Los Angeles. And every year I have to write her and be like, every October, right around both her and I's birthdays, I have to be like, hey, Mom, you think the house is going to burn down this year? Like,
did you clean the forest floor, Mom?
Yeah. Did you? Fucking Christ. And it's terrifyingly sad, dude. Like, nobody in California deserves that, dude. California has some incredible people. I mean, like, everyone who I know and love is from here. I know and love a lot of people from a lot of places, but this is my own state, man, and it's just sad to see. So in Stoic, you will see one of the greatest cities literally on earth, just covered in red haze, right next to another great city, which is Oakland. So San Francisco and Oakland, right across the bay from one another. You'll see them just completely covered.
When is it going to play? How many more seconds we got?
We got 5 seconds.
Okay, enjoy this. And we'll be back to talk about it, but this is Stoic, Obsolete Man. Ooh. You're so good at drums. That's my favorite part right there.
Thanks, dude.
This is the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
Fight back.
Fuck you.
And that's it. That's the whole. That's the whole video, folks. You saw it here first, maybe. The world premiere of Stoic by Obsolete Man, and we got Scotty on the line.
I do love playing that song. Honestly, I think it's like our most like. It's grindy, but it's also like it's got these like kind of silly segments in it, to where it's like, okay, we're like kind of poking fun at just. I mean, at heavy music in general. I mean, there's so many like beat down heavy bands that are like, no, like we're like tough guy hardcore.
Yeah.
And I just like, I've never been able to fucking get on that shit. Like, I just think it's clowny, honestly. But like, live your life, do what you do. I don't.
Yeah, a lot of people just stay in their pockets, as you say, or
yeah, like
drive home their brand.
I don't actually give a shit. I just didn't want my like music to ever like exploit that tough guy bullshit. No, like. It's nerdy.
Because we're not tough guys.
No, dude. No, but it's nerdy, dude. Like, I mean, we're all fucking nerds in our own right. You know what I mean? And like, and I'm okay with that. Like, no dorks, but nerds are totally fine.
I don't know. I don't classify it. Sonically, because I wrote the lyrics with Gino, so I can comment on the lyrics. But as far as like the music is concerned, can you give me like a soundbite on the inspiration behind the song and keep expanding on basically what you were saying?
So basically, it was like, Gino was like, I am going to make a very complicated song. And I was like, hey, I'm going to double up on that and then make a segment in that song, probably the most complicated shit that we have in the album. And so we wanted to keep with like the concept of grind and just like kind of like this back and forth, like, okay, we're going to take this blast. And this is like how every power violence band pretty much writes music. It's just like, okay, well, like, I'm going to need this cue. And we're going to do like this many counts of this segment and then this many counts of this segment. And I know you have to abide by those rules too, or else the song would sound like absolute shit. So, so being able to sort of like bounce back and forth. And it was like, kind of like, even when we were making it, it's like, all right, dude, I see you. Like, this is just like some music nerds just trying to make the most savage thing ever. And that's exactly how it comes off. There's not a single 4 bars that replicates itself once in the entire song, literally from beginning to end throughout the minute that is the duration of the song. It was like our most like push towards like power violence. Let's make something unlistenable pretty much. And like just kind of like off the cuff, was like, cool, I got it. Like, here, we're gonna do this. And I was like, cool, what about if we do this? Okay. I remember we worked on the end and just like, and didn't necessarily disagree, but we also like couldn't agree on exactly like how to formulate the end part that I know is like super complicated on your part, because it's like, we understand it because we have these small cues that like move us from like pattern to pattern. But like for you, it's like, this is fucking nonsense. And that's what we wanted to create. We wanted to create like this disconnect, because like, that's kind of how we felt throughout, like even throughout 2019, I've been feeling this disconnect between my reality and like, just gone through a lot of stuff in the past 5 years, and I was trying to ground myself. And the way that I ground myself from that disconnect to society or to reality or to like where I am standing on earth is through music. If I can make a disconnect there, then I understand that I actually own time. I own this concept.
You're blowing my mind right now. I never want to stop you from talking. Sorry. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, so music, I mean, it's just pitches placed in time, right, by definition. So
Jesus Christ. Did you smoke? Do you even smoke?
No, dude, I had 1 beer today. So it's pitches placed in time. And so if you view music as that thing, literally any audible sound can be music, because you have this sense of time in yourself.
Yeah.
So something to ground yourself is getting a grasp on the basic mathematics behind rhythm in music. And so me and Gino just were like, fuck it. Like, let's, like, we were like kind of like battling on who could confuse more, like each other more. And it was like, he was like, okay, do this. And I was like, all right, well then we're going to do this. And like, there was a point where like, we were like kind of upset at each other because it was like, okay, I don't fucking get what you're saying, man. And he's like, no, you got to feel it like in threes right here. And then you had to go back to quarter. And I was like, that doesn't fucking make sense to me, man. And I
But
was
like time is like a moment, you know, it's a construct.
I was like, your one is just different than my one, man. And like, we had like this existential crisis.
Yeah. I've witnessed it a little bit. I do remember seeing you getting frustrated like one time behind the kit, and because I have a band, it's just like, that's it. The band's over. Like, Scott's going to quit. Like, we're fucked.
No. That anger, I redirect to make sure that I can finish that pattern.
Yeah, you were like a fighter, and they're like, you want to call? You're like, no, but man, one more round. I got this. And then you're just like, poof.
Yeah.
I'm like, my man. And then it was my turn to figure this fucking song out. So are you done with your quote?
I think so. I know it's like pretty outlandish. I mean,
I think you got a couple good sound bites in there. I'm gonna try to get some more articles written, and maybe they can just watch this and pull.
Sure, yeah, they can just watch me ramble on about music theory for forever or whatever.
Yeah, ask me a question about the lyrics. Give me a prompt so I can.
Actually, yeah.
You interview me now.
So I do. I know where we were all coming from when we were building this album, and when we gave you sort of a free realm to dive into what you thought was pertinent and what you felt from this song and its absolute chaos, what did you come up with?
Damn, that's a great question, Scott. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
So the writing process in this band is a little different because in 5 characters, I kind of wrote everything, and then Gio and I would just like place it in based on like the syllables or whatever like we thought, you know, we heard, or, you know, we'd flush it out. But coming into this band, you know, and kind of being that puzzle that completed, or the piece that like completed like your guys' puzzle, it kind of made my job easier in a sense where you guys already had a lot of music and a lot of lyric ideas. Some songs that are just literally just we copied and pasted, and you know they're just versions with me now, and then we tweaked a little bit. But Stoic in particular, and Violence, and maybe Ennui, I think I had the most lyrically to do on those. Is that true?
Not Guilt. I thought that.
I think I did Guilt too.
Yeah.
But then even on this next EP, like there's a lot of you guys. Maybe one me, one Devin, one you. Oh, Devin had Defeat on this one. So, okay, yes, I guess I did more. I did write more than I thought on this one. But right. Stoic in particular was the last song that we need to complete. The ending took us literally like a month just driving it home, and it wasn't even with lyrics at that point. It was just like, when do you want me to make a noise?
Right.
I don't have any music theory, but I was in a band with Gino for, 5-6 years before with the same thing. So yeah, lyrically what I was going for and what I heard in Stoic was a very like rebellious, like almost like revolutionary, like kind of, I immediately felt the anger, and it felt like almost vengeful in a sense. And I think this is the one where I said the word bitch, and then Gino and Dan were like, oh, you can't say bitch. Yeah. So I kind of changed it because I was going through some like serious family issues around that time. And this was my kind of like open letter to like the situation. I didn't necessarily want it to be like that, but just to get the ideas out. But it was just so funny to watch them like stop practicing, like, you can't say bitch. So I was like, all right, cool.
Was like, nope.
So I was trying to go more inward on it. And the whole Short History of Decay concept is more me versus myself. And then the next EP is going to be kind of like us against the world.
Right.
So the me versus myself in Stoic, I was doing a lot of reflecting because I just like got diagnosed with some shit, including sleep apnea, and going to therapy and just getting reconnected with music and you guys. And so like, rediscovering that creative part of myself that I was referring to in the first part of the interview. And I started thinking about my experience in school, and this is very similar to Gino's experience. Mine was more of like, Robby's so bright, he's so gifted, but he acts out in class, or like, oh, like maybe because his mom's not around, he's acting out, or like, oh, have you tried like, like my people would judge my dad for like not spanking me, but like sitting me down and talking to me like a grown up, like, hey, you weren't supposed to do this, do you understand? So I was just kind of playing back to like, wow, what if like the teachers and just like the counselors and the people who like had our young minds, like, the molding, what if like instead of like trying to fit us into that, you know, go to school, get a good degree, you know, get your degree, get the good job. It's like, that shit's a fucking lie. Like, but they don't tell you that. It's just like, oh, you believe in Santa, and now you got to tell your kids to believe in Santa, and it's just, you just keep on believing in Santa. But it's like, do we still need college? Do we like we have the internet now, and the internet was becoming popular, and I kind of like junior year, high school, senior, I kind of told all my teachers, like, this is a lie. Like, you've been lying to us. Like, and the teachers who were cool, like, yeah. And the ones that weren't, like, oh no, like, you know,
they have to do a curriculum, right? It's all indoctrination. Like, I mean, but these are concepts that like have like been forever, like pervasive and prevalent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we all know that the American school system is like completely fucked. I mean, that's like why we have so many dumb fucks in the South. Sorry.
Yeah, but maybe that's by design, and that's the thing. I was kind of,
and so it's not anybody's fault necessarily, except for like the powers that be, right? And so that's how I feel from this song, because it also it's kind of internal, right? And it's like, you know, like from a young age, I woke up and I fought back, and I thought that all this anger and all this vengefulness that built up inside of me, how I view your lyrics on this song is that it's not just the time now, it's always been the time.
Yeah,
right?
I wanted this to be an inspiration for like the versions of us in the school. Like, they were wanting to give pills to Gino because he had ADHD, but it's like, why don't we put Gino in a music school or something that he wants to do? Like, he's always just wanted to play music. Why are we trying to get him to like finish his biology homework? You know,
right?
Like, so
give that kid a guitar, dude. Give that kid a guitar.
What if we encourage our kids, you know,
right, to do something better than themselves, or at least something better than like whatever
you're
cause
being told. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like it's.
But if someone shows interest in something, like, encourage that. So that's kind of what the song is about. I want to say I read like a book about kids like having to raise their hand in order to go to the bathroom. So there's like the line where it's like, raise your hand, but then draw the line, you know, and then it's just like, you don't need to be paying attention. You don't need to just like trust the authorities' word blindly.
Absolutely.
And then it kind of, I think there's like a rock, like the know your role. I think that's a subtle nod to the rock, like know your role and shut your mouth. But it's so like, or, no, it's no, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So, I'm a wrestling kid back in the day too. So.
I think everybody was. I think everybody from our generation was, and like I suppose like the end of the last generation before us was very into wrestling. I mean, that's why like
Stone Cold. 90s wrestling. Fuck.
Stone Cold is the baddest motherfucker on earth, dude.
I wore Stone Cold socks like our first show, I think.
Good. Stone Cold, dude. I mean, he's the fucking dude.
So yeah, I think does that cover the, and then there's like the we've been our lives, wake up, you know, sit down, wait your turn. Yeah, it's again, it's just that like, do what you're told, and like, you know, then you got folks who are like, even right now, like there's a lot of social justice happening right now, so it's like, this is it. So it kind of fit in perfectly with like what's been going on in the world, even though we didn't know that was coming, but we were feeling it. And I guess a lot of times
we didn't. No, we absolutely didn't. Whenever the lyrics for this song were put into motion, we had no idea what kind of fucking year we were.
Yeah, we released Violence on the day that George Floyd got murdered too, and then all you saw on the news was violence. Like, it wasn't our video; it was like violence in the streets. So I'm just like, I don't think life is. I keep every episode, I'm like, this isn't real life. Like, you got to tell me if this is fake, right?
No, dude. I mean, we had just left San Francisco because we had our first stay-at-home order, and I went to go to stay down with my mom in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And me and Anna and her sister Alice, who I also live with. We all just like left. I like drove through the middle of the night through 2 snowstorms to get down to Southern California. And I remember sitting there and waiting because my mom was out of town. She was like in the middle of Arizona, like camping for a month or something.
Yeah, and I was like, Scott, did you bring the merch? And you're like,
I was like, I don't pack the fucking merch, dude. I was like, I don't.
But you did have the merch with the fires. I was like, attaboy, Scott.
I did. Yeah. I packed it for the Santa Cruz fires. I did.
Yeah.
But so even with stuff, it's like the wake up, fight back, know your role, like all of these like concepts that we've been told for forever don't really like they don't translate unless there's like something absolutely necessary directly in front of you, right? So like we watch California burn every single year, and if you don't wake up and if you don't fight the fuck back,
yeah, it just fits. But it wasn't. That's not what we were doing. This isn't a a climate crisis. Like this isn't a climate change song, but it fits so well.
I hope like no like fucking anti-masker bullshit comes from that. They're like, oh, dude, love that. Wake up, fight back. Like, dude, don't wear your mask. Like,
We should have Wake Up, Fight Back. Actually, so what's funny? Do you remember us changing those lyrics on the way to the studio?
the studio. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's supposed to repeat the sit or was it sit down or wake up, fight back? What did it say before that? Oh, sit down, shut up. And
Oh
then
yeah.
it was gonna be sit down, shut up again.
Yeah.
And then we're listening to Animosity, and it's like wake up, fight back. And I was like, hey, what if we like give a little nod, like a little Animosity, like
Actually,
me, man.
so my other roommate Rhea, she like kind of grew up with Naveed, who is the drummer from Animosity.
Yeah, and he's like back online, like making moves too.
Oh yeah, well, dude, he's just an incredible drummer, man. I used to memorize his parts when I was fucking 15 years old, you know, and I'd be like,
Yeah, we need to send him a picture of your tattoo too.
I know. Well, so my tattoo artist who did that one is best friends with him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and they like grew up together as well in San Francisco, and like, so when he was doing it, he like sent a picture. He was like, "Hey, check out what I'm doing for my buddy," and sent it to Naveed. And Naveed was like, "Why the fuck is he getting that?"
Yeah, that's not cool, but it is.
No, it's so dope, dude. I love that album. I can't tell you how many hours I spent playing that album and memorizing every pattern that he did because it's a crazy album.
Yeah.
It's awesome drumming. It's just like pure, straightforward, cut and dry, intense tech death drumming. It's sick.
Yeah.
And he was young when he did it. I think he was like probably only like 4 or 5 more years older than I was.
They were so like before their time and still are one of like the most heaviest brutal bands. Like,
I think that like literally everyone who plays heavy music at some point in time, I think like the one agreeable thing for anybody would be Animosity.
that they're not Animosity.
That like that.
Yeah.
Or that like that's one thing that they can actually agree on. It would be like,
totally.
hey, you liked Animosity? Like, yeah, he liked Animosity. She liked
Yeah,
Animosity.
wherever you're at,
They
anti-mask or not, I think Animosity.
Yeah.
Did you know the bass player at one point was Dan Kenny? He's in Suicide Silence now, but he's from Pacifica.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, so his email is danimosity at. So it's just like it's so crazy how connected.
Yeah, what would
All
ours
bands
be?
are.
Yours would be Robsolete, man.
Oh, Robsolete, man.
Yeah.
How would yours work? No.
Mine would be Scobsolete, man, for my.
Oh, Scobsolete, man.
Yeah. And then Gino would be
Robsolete's not
man.
bad.
Yeah, Robsolete.
If
Like,
this was MySpace, it would already be like Robsolete. LOL.
Yeah. It's Robsolete X. Or,
Ruffle.
I mean, before people like really, where people who weren't straight edge would just throw X into like any part of their name. And be
I
like,
think that still happens.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. But yeah, I think mine would be Scobsolete, man.
Scobsolete, man. That's why we didn't do it.
Is that why?
No, because you guys were all fighting me like, social media is not that important. I was like, social media is everything. We need to get some motherfucking eyeballs on this band.
Denobsolete, man.
Janop.
Devobsolete, man. I mean,
it's just because Robsolete. It just
that's
rolls
the
off the
best
tongue.
one, and so it makes all the other ones sound really dumb.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but you know, here we are.
I got a couple more questions for you. I think we might have covered them, but Kevin couldn't hop on. I was going to surprise you with Kevin, but
Oh, what?
yeah, he's like, tell him I said, what's up, my dude?
What, dude?
Can you discuss real quick, just quick answers because we're going to wrap this up in a sec, but how did we end up getting the footage? Do you remember, or do you want me to answer that?
You can go ahead and answer that.
We were like going back and forth about trying to get red sky, like orange sky footage because it works so well for our violence video where we got drone footage of like the shutdown.
Yeah.
But then like there, weeks would go by and then usually I'm the one sending like the really professional, like, good evening, sir. Like we would like to use your stuff in our hardcore band. Like and I just couldn't pull that together. Yeah, I am Robsolete, man. So it worked the first time and then we couldn't find, like everything was blowing up like and getting ripped. And so we didn't want to take anyone's art without asking them. So Gino and I were trying to figure out who owned the footage that we liked. And then, it kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. We were just going to release it as just the practice footage. But then we gave ourselves a deadline. We're like, oh, if we can get like licensing or be able to use the red sky footage, like it'd be cool. And so we kind of like kicked our ass into gear. And then Gino and I found like the guy, and then he wanted like $500 or something. And then Devin like randomly found some dude off of like KPIX or something and Twitter, and then he like hooked us up. Like we didn't pay for the last one, so figured we'd invest in this one a little bit because it was worth it. And then Kevin edited the video together because he already had the original video together. So honestly, like if you want something to happen, just like reach out. People are at home. They want to collaborate. They want connection. They want to help other people, believe it or not. So yeah, shout out to the dude who I don't exactly remember his name, but it'll be somewhere. You can look it up.
Sorry, dude. Yeah, I might have it.
Okay, and then I guess you kind of answered about like why was the red sky smoke fire footage so important for us to have in the footage in the video?
Well, because we're Californians. We're from what we perceive to be the best state in the entire union. And it's clear as day that it's we're going to lose it soon. I mean, clearly, like, I mean, anybody who knows fucking anything knows that this world is dying. I mean, you look out your fucking front door, man.
Yeah, there's been like no rain.
I mean, it actually rained like pretty much the majority of last week here, but
like
but
pretty
we're
late into the winter, bro.
Right, I know, dude. And like I was in Pacifica where it should have been foggy as fuck, and like
Yeah, and it's hot as fucking
sun was
overall.
shining. I had to take off my sweatshirt. I was like, "What the fuck? This doesn't make any sense."
Yeah.
So clearly, our Earth is dying.
Yeah, this is very relevant footage, and I think we just wanted to like make it better than just the practice footage because that was like pre-recorded practice footage too. So it wasn't like fresh for us. It was already in the violence video.
Yeah.
And the fact is, like, no bands are out there with drones getting red sky footage. Like, so we try to like, you know, step our game up a little bit, especially since we can't do live shows because I feel like that was our strength also, is like our performance.
Oh yeah, of course.
Naturally.
I mean, yeah. I mean that.
I love how cocky we're getting. We're from California. We're the best, man. Except for animosity.
If you're not getting on stage and throwing the fuck down, dude, then you don't belong on it.
But yeah, we only played like a couple shows. I think our last show together was like in February, like, but we were just getting going, you know? So that was that. Kevin also, yeah, obviously that was pre-pandemic. We weren't filming that, you know, dangerously.
No, yeah. That's why we haven't seen each other in fucking, or we haven't all been in the same room.
We need to get hazmat suits. I would be down.
Dude, I'm down, dude. Just
lyrical themes related to fire.
Jeff
I guess
Bezos.
there is no. What'd you say?
So if you find hazmat suits, make sure they're not from Jeff Bezos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Devin said he found some. He's like, obviously I found them, but I'm not going to suggest it unless we could all get together. It's like, all right, thanks, dude.
I like that. No, he's holding.
He's such a logistics guy. I love it. So this song doesn't have any references to like fire and flames and smoke, but it still has to do with the like paying attention, wake up, fight back, and so it fell into it. But there are references. Actually, I'm going through the other songs about fire, flame, smoke, and just different visuals. I think Ennui is the one that's about like burning. Basically, the meme is the dog that says "I'm fine." That's about how I was feeling right on there. So I'd still like to get some visuals or some music videos for the other stuff, but it takes a lot out of it, like planning wise, and then also it's shifting focus from us trying to do the second EP. So anything you want to say on the future of the band before we sign off, my brother?
Well, I will say that we're here and we're not going anywhere, and we have some of, in my opinion, some of the heaviest shit that I think we can lay out for you coming up. I mean, I don't want to give too much away. I don't know what I could give away. I just, we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere.
We are not obsolete.
We are not obsolete. There may be a lot of obsolete things, but we are not one.
Scotty Wright, ladies and gentlemen. One word to describe how you're feeling about yourself, the podcast, your boy. Just one word, how you're feeling right now.
Love. Love, dude.
Virtual hug, my dude.
Love you, man.
All right, stay on the line because we're going to talk a little bit more. But the interview is over. Thank you guys all for watching. Please support Obsolete Man. We don't make a lot of money off the merch, but we want to get the merch in your hands. It's not doing any good at Scott's house. So support local music, support local restaurants, support just locals. Be kind to one another. Be safe. I don't know when the next episode's coming out. Holidays are coming in. My birthday's coming up. But I'm going to keep doing this for you guys, and we're going to keep hammering with the music as well. So, Scott, thank you again, man. I feel love too.
Thanks, Bob.
World peace, motherfucker.